Hello there, my thinking wonderful people. It's been a little while, and I'm coming back at you with another FSD, Tesla FSD video. I have not yet been upgraded, so what I'm dealing with still is 12.5.4.3. We're still waiting on 12.6 something. I hope that comes in real soon. However, a lot of the little glitches and things, the little warts that I was finding before, I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm going to say that there's been quite an improvement since I went in for what they call a precision cleaning. And that's in the front housing for your front cameras. It kind of makes sense. I mean, again, I haven't been driving that long since having it done. I had it done yesterday morning. So we'll see how it does. Sorry, I wasn't keeping up with traffic because the 80-kilometer sign is just past now. But the traffic was already hitting the 80 and 90s. So, you're going to get to see this some good experimental drive. It's already done a number of lane changes and been cut off a number of times and allowed people to break into the lane, etc. So I'm actually quite happy so far. We'll just see how it ends up here, but now, the topic that I should address today, I was going to address it the other day, but I had company in the vehicle and they didn't want to be recorded. So, I decided that we would not have the discussion we were prepared to have due to those circumstances. Respect other people's privacy. Okay. I just soft intervention there. I touched the accelerator and I raised the speed limit because, as you can see, everybody was totally getting away from me, and my speed limit was actually up there where it should have been keeping up, and we're still in the left lane. So another soft intervention could be coming up, and there it is. It's more of an annoyance than anything else because the people behind you are wondering what is wrong with this person. Why are they sitting in the left lane and going slower than the right lane? It makes no logical sense, but we do know that the version I'm on is an old version. All the updates and the corrections that have been made have not come to this vehicle yet. So even now, though we have set at 95 max, we're only doing 92. Now there's no weather. The road's pretty good, nice and smooth. I don't see a reason why we're not doing 95. And as you remember, I did tap the accelerator to get us up there. So let's do that again and see if it will stay at 95 this time. 94, 93, 92. 90, and we're going to tap again. Yeah, we're in the left lane. There's no reason for us to hold up any traffic that even may want to be in this lane. And here we go down again. Let me try putting it to 100 and see if that works. Oh, I see. It just told me that I'm in chill. Do I want to switch to assertive or standard. That makes sense. Okay, so let's go into autopilot, and we're gonna choose assertive. We were flying on chill, and let's see if assertive gives us any change in behavior. Hopefully I can reduce that speed down to like 90 or something. Doing 91, but that's because the traffic in front of us was going very slow too. Not very slow, but you know what I mean. Slower than my set maximum. Yay, we made it to 92 on its own without me intervening. I would call this part of that same wart that most of us have been complaining about all the time, and that is its ability to do an appropriate speed at the appropriate time. And if you put this on set speed, automatic set speed, then it'll get me tickets everywhere, because when I'm in the city and there's nobody in front of me slowing me down, the car's going 10 to 15 kilometers over the limit, and that would get me a ticket, especially in a 30 or 40 kilometer zone like there is in abundance in Toronto. We're down to 89 again. I don't understand. That is a wart that I am not fond of, and I will never get fond of it or used to it. It's just unnecessary. Unnecessary, totally unnecessary. If I was in chill mode, I understand it was in chill mode and it asked me if I wanted. I've chosen assertive, like, and I don't want to be in assertive. I want to be in chill mode, but I want to be able to keep the speed limits. I don't want to be darting in and out of traffic. If I was driving myself, I would have been over in the right lane already. Breezy corners. Take it down a notch. No, it's great we're in assertive, but we still should be going over into the right lane when there's no obstructions on the right. So the topic we were going to talk about the other day is Tesla's stock price. Where's it going? Where's it been? What the hang is going on? And you know what? I feel very, very guilty about my thoughts, because my thoughts are very critical of all these people who call themselves Tesla bulls, Uber bulls, they're bulls, 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 but they haven't seen the writing on the wall. Elon Musk has been punished from day one. He broke from other people and did his own thing, and nobody appreciated that. However, they should have applauded him for being a maverick, a pioneer, somebody moving in his own direction and not having to follow in other people's footsteps. But instead, they punished him. They ridiculed him. They did everything against him. And if that is not reason enough for us to understand what has been going wrong with the Tesla stock price all these years, I don't know how to get the point across to these people. It was so obvious to me that these guys were constantly waiting for any excuse to just pounce on Tesla. It didn't matter whatever happened to Microsoft or Amazon or any of those companies. Their prices fluctuated just slightly, because a few retail investors weren't adding more money. The institutional investors were holding their stock. So it kind of was a fairly balanced ride. Tesla's not volatile. Tesla has been improving its products every single day that's been going on. They've been improving everything about the company. And yet, the price has been held back. People go, oh, it's overvalued. It's trading at X amount. It's PE ratio. And I look at that and I go, no, it's not. It's way below. Knowing Elon's ability to accomplish what he sets out to do, the directions that he's moving in, the value of Tesla should be, I would say, more than double what it is right now. And that's based on today's fundamentals. We're not even talking about, and remember, none of what I'm saying is investment advice. It's actually, I'm trying to wake up the bulls, because they just keep going along with these blinders on. And then day after day after day, you hear them say, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. Like, it should have moved. It's like every time Tesla has an announcement, it goes down. It's never going according to normal, everyday stock fluctuations. And it totally trades opposite almost to the S&P, which is absolutely insane. It's carrying the S&P often. Why in heaven's name would it be trading opposite? Oh, it's an inverse trading stock. What the hang does that mean? Inverse trading stock. There's no stock that goes backwards when the whole market goes forwards, and goes forwards when the whole market goes backwards, unless everybody is collaborating and going, okay guys, let's all put our money into Tesla today. We want to boost the stock. That would take institutional investors, pension fund holders, retail investors, all together, conspiring to raise the price of Tesla stock. And then let's explain what happens when the S&P goes up and Tesla goes down. Is everybody going, okay guys, it's time to take our money out of Tesla and put it all back in the S&P? Like, that would take quite the collaboration, I would say. And I don't believe that's what's happening. I believe the people who are in control, who really dislike Elon because he's a maverick, because he's a pioneer, are the ones who are controlling the fluctuations. Okay, here's a wart. Come on now. Last second it put on the signal. Last second and it moved over. That was absolutely wrong. Anyways, so folks, when it comes to Tesla stock, don't be surprised when you see it going in crazy directions that really make no sense. It's been manipulated. And the collaboration is probably between a few of the largest capable market manipulators. I'm sorry, I can't see any other way that this could happen. So if there are a whole bunch of synthetic shares out there, which there could be, that have been trying to hold Tesla down for years and years, very soon they're going to pop. Now when they pop, and these guys have to buy back all those shares to try to even the playing field in their debt column, I can see a massive shift in the price of Tesla stock to where it should be and beyond. Beyond, why? Because if there are a bunch of synthetic shares out there, they're going to have to be liquidated. That's going to put money in Tesla's pocket. And by the way, folks, when the stock goes up, it does not put money in Elon's pocket. So if you don't like the stock going up because you think Elon's getting richer, he's not. He gets richer on paper. The next day, the stock goes down. He gets poorer on paper. And he doesn't really care about the money anyways. You don't see him spending money on all kinds of things. You don't see him buying multiple private jets. You don't see any of that. So those people who sit there and yak in your ear and talk about how, oh, this is terrible, don't buy Tesla's shares, it's going to make Elon rich. Elon is richer than anybody in the world. Do you think he really cares about more money? Folks, keep an eye on the stock. I'm going to predict that by 2030, okay, yeah, it's a long way off, but that's how I've been investing. I've been in for the long term. I haven't been investing and trading back and forth. So by 2030, I predict that we will cross the $2,000 a share mark, and that will be split adjusted, because I'm sure we're going to have a couple of splits coming up between now and then. Okay? That's my prediction, not investment advice. It's my prediction. My prediction is that in 2025, we should be able to see Tesla up around $1,000 per share. Because of the things that are being released this year, showing the promise of where we are going, there's no reason why the share price should be held down. Okay? So, let's say that all goes as planned. What are my predictions for 27? By the end of 27, I expect it to be up around $1,800 a share split adjusted. It won't have far to go between 27 and 30, but that will be on the ramps. And on the ramps, they're going to be counting how many get sold, how much the profit, what's the earnings call, because these guys are all what we would call wussies. They are wussies. Those of you who invest ahead of the curve are the ones that are going to be successful. Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave it there. As you can see, the warts are few, but they're there. And they're not major warts. They're like just the beginning of a bubble. You know? Like not merging out of that lane quick enough. There was nobody threatening to block us, so there was really no reason for it to do otherwise. A wart right now. This is a 70-kilometer zone, and we were doing 54. It made no sense. I hope we're going to the right place. He said just go straight up Highway 6. But it's not looking like that's correct. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on the side here, and I'm going to find out what the hang is going on. Because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be straight up this road.
Yo, yo.
Hey, my man, are you sure you're in the right spot?
What does that mean?
Well, I went straight up Highway 6, and it's telling me to take the 401 over to the other 6 and go up.
No, I don't know why it's doing that. You should be able to go right across 6, right over the 401, and you keep going. You pass Stone Road and all this other stuff. But yeah, and then you turn right on Speedvale, straight up.
Okay, I'm looking at it now. It won't go straight up. It's going to turn. It comes to a place where it's downtown Guelph, and it's like all kinds of interchange.
I don't know why it's pretty simple.
I thought so too when I first looked it up.
Straight down 6, you keep going, over the 401, you keep going, you pass Stone Road, you should be able to see it on your map, Stone Road Mall, or Stone Road, keep going, and you turn right on Speedvale.
Turn
Straight up.
right on Speedvale.
Yep. Turn right on Speedvale.
See, it's definitely telling me to turn right up there on Speedvale, but it's telling me to do it off of the main Highway 6, which is oh, wait a second, you're coming the other way. That's why it is telling me to go the right way. It's not straight up Guelph.
I'm thinking
it's not
of you
straight
coming-
up number 6.
I'm thinking of you coming from Hamilton down 6, past Morristown and all that stuff, over the 401, keep going straight, and you should be there.
Okay, I'm gonna let the nav get me there, and hopefully, because I'm gonna have a few minutes to spare. If that's the wrong place, if they have 2 locations or something.
No, only one location, and you had it right. It's called Souvlaki Plain.
Yeah, that's what I put in the nav.
Yep, and it's on Speedvale, yeah. Speedvale and Dawson.
Yeah, so it's strange, that it's telling me to go up the Guelph line, not that Guelph line. That's old Guelph line, right? That's old number 6 Guelph line. The other number 6 is up here, which if you were coming from your place on the 401, you would be going up that number 6, and then yes, you would turn right. So if this one does the same as, we'll find out. If I get there and it's some other funny place, it's saying Souvlaki Flame Family Restaurant.
That's the one.
Let me see here. So it says, yeah, Dawson Road.
There you go.
So yeah, so it's telling me to go up this other Highway 6.
I don't know why you would. I'm sure you can override it. Just go straight.
Exit 285, go to Speedvale Avenue West, turn right on Speedvale,
Yeah,
and then turn right on Dawson.
that's right.
Yeah, buddy, it's off the other number 6 though.
I don't know. I'd override it and just go straight, man.
No, I looked at the map. If I went straight, I get tied up in the downtown Guelph, and then you have to choose which way to go from there, and then it cuts back over to get. I would have to go left. If I took any of those other roads up, I'd have to go left.
I don't. How long until you get there? We're still running a bit late.
Oh, I'm going to be there 10 minutes early.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, if I get there and it's the wrong address, I'll just find the other one.
Find a charger.
Yeah, maybe that too. If
You'll
they have
definitely
it.
get chargers in Guelph.
Yeah, last time I was out in Guelph, I couldn't find chargers even.
It's impossible, man.
I probably would have been able to find a supercharger, but not a regular charger.
Okay. Fine. Is there a supercharger there?
I think there's a supercharger in Guelph.
Could you use it?
No, I don't use superchargers unless I have to.
Yeah. How much power do you have? How much kilometers?
Oh, I got lots, 300 plus.
Oh gosh.
It's just, when I use a supercharger, it costs about 50% what it would cost for gas. And it's like, yeah, no, not a chance. That's not why I bought this car, to pay that much money for
No, of
electrons.
course not. All right, we'll be there as soon as we can.
What time do you think?
I'll bring your stuff. We should be there about 5:30ish.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, then you're not late.
No, maybe 10-15 minutes tops.
Okay.
Just close your eyes, have a snooze.
Okay. All right, I'll watch some YouTube.
Okay, bye.
All right, ciao. Okay, you heard all that. Let's find out who's right, who's wrong. Is Tesla's navigation right, or is Tesla's navigation wrong? I should have just let it go when it was ready to go on the highway. Because either way, even if I'm in the wrong location, it's not more than 2-3 minutes away from there. But I wish there was a way to report to Tesla when their navigation is wrong, because it has taken me to what it thought was the address that I'd selected, and when I got there, it was not the address that was even keyed into the nav system. So that, there should be a way for me to be able to tell him that. Okay. That's strange. Yeah, I have the heat on for the right areas, but it doesn't seem to be going down to the feet. Okay, a little more optimist.
And the other thing is that is when you take a look at it, we talk about they have like a tendon in each finger. Tendons have a problem is that they only work in one direction. They work great in tension, but they are really bad in compression. So you can use them to close your hand, but the only way you can get them to open is that you can relax it, but the fingers won't naturally go. You can try pushing them, but you won't really have enough force to open it. So some of the images, like if we back up on one of the images where it's grabbing the egg, you look really closely, you'll see at each joint. Yeah, right there, if you look kind of closely, especially the index finger that's touching the egg up there, you can sort of see a spring mechanism. That's a torsion spring that allows that joint to pop open. So when you relax the tension of the tendon, it will pop open. So that means you've got a lot of strength and energy in the closing or the flexion of the hand, but you've got very little in the extension. It just opens up based on whatever that spring constant is. And so that's one thing that they're kind of lacking. You have one tendon that allows you to close it, but there's nothing you can open up. That's why there's a lot of other designs like what Figure has. I think that the Xipeng bot and some others where they have more mechanical linkage, so that when they're actually connected to, you just run the motor backwards and the finger moves up. Now there's another challenge to having is that everyone will talk about 11 degrees of freedom. So they're talking about like the number of joints that can move around, but some of the joints are dependent. So in the Optimus bot, you have like 2 degrees of freedom on the finger, but it was connected to one actuator. And they were not independent, which meant when you pulled on that actuator, both joints started to bend. And you could not control one over the other. And now that you went to the 22 DOF, you added one more in between them. They're all kind of coming on down there. The problem that original Optimus had, because of that strategy, when it went to close its finger, it had this clawing action. The hand would just kind of close on down. Exactly. And so the problem with that is that, if you just kind of zoom in for a second, so you can kind of see, is that when you have a clawing strategy, like, normally I want to grab something like this on my finger to come and able to close around it. But if I have a clawing strategy and it closes like that, I completely miss my target. So what I want to be able to do is have my fingers start out straight at first, and then allow them to come around. But I don't have that control that way. The only way I can keep the other joint from moving is if it comes into resistance, because then it's pushing against the spring and the tendon and everything else. So you don't have that kind of control to be able to do it. So what are they doing in the 22-degree freedom hand? And you begin to see what's going on there. They seem to have a ton of tendons on down there.
Crazy.
And I've done a breakdown of what's going on, and it turns out they don't have one tendon in the finger. So it turns out in our actual hands, we have 2 tendons which act as the flexors, 2 flexor tendons, and we have one that's called an extensor. So in the human body, there's actually 3 tendons that are controlling the opening and closing of your fingers. The reason why we have 2 here is because our grasp is way more important than the extension that we want to get to be able to get the strength. They decided to say, we're not going to put those springs back in the knuckles anymore, because now we're going to be putting extra springs in there. It's going to be much more difficult to kind of pop it open. They actually have a tendon dedicated to opening it up. And we'll jump on down here, and I've got some images sort of showing that aren't just videos, but labeling what's going on in the hand. These are all the joints.
If you find yourself walking less and feeling bloated, these insoles are the thing you need. Have you heard about Acusoli? These are the cutting-edge orthopedic insoles that people look forward to using. Yes, orthopedic insoles are beneficial for relieving foot, knee, hip, and back pain, and they're perfect for people who deal with such problems as foot inflammation and flat or pronating feet. But why should your insoles be boring, ugly, overpriced, and something only your cranky doctor would recommend when a new, modern, and affordable solution is changing the orthotics landscape right now? Introducing Acusoli, the revolutionary magnetic orthopedic insoles that fit any shoe, while also preventing foot pain and conditions like plantar fasciitis and flat or pronating feet in 9 distinct ways. 1. The innovative wave-shaped arch support distributes pressure evenly across your feet, improving your body's overall alignment and aiding conditions like inflammation of the plantar fascia tissue, soreness, and tingling. 2. The ultra-soft cushioning absorbs pressure to protect your heels and joints from the impact of walking all day. It keeps your feet energized, the connective tissue relaxed, and fatigue-free. 3. The 3-way heel support provides extra stability so you can walk confidently. 4. The flexible and breathable material adapts to your foot shape, providing comfort and support and prevents unpleasant odor thanks to anti-mold and antibacterial technology. 5. The unique patented magnetic technology. Acusoli is equipped with carefully placed magnets to provide a constant gentle massage. 6. Acupressure cushions. This unique design feature targets the most important parts of the feet.
Videos labeling what's going on in the hand. These are all the joints.
Sorry about that,
This is where
Acusoli.
degrees of freedom come from, okay? So you've got those dip and pip joints, which are basically what we all call the knuckles. And that calls, it's the distal interphalangeal and the proximal interphalangeal. That's why they call them the IP joints. And the MC joint is basically where the finger attaches to the palm, okay? And you have 2 degrees of freedom at the MCJ and only 1 at each of the IP joints, okay? So that means each finger has a total of 4 degrees of freedom that you have there. And if we look at really closely, we may begin to notice where the tendons are. So go to the next slide, and we'll see. Okay, you'll see there's a tendon right down the middle. That's the flexion right in there. I've got circled in red there. That is showing you the tendon that is allowing the finger to close. And then we have the movement back and forth, which gives us, famous live long and prosper, and the ab and adduction. And that's actually done with 2 different tendons, because what happens is that you pull on one tendon that way, to relax the tendon, the finger's still going to stick there, unless you have a spring that it can go back. So that means, like puppet strings, they need to have it on both sides in order to go ab and ad. Okay? And now, we'll go to the next picture, because we can't see it in here. Whoop, on the top, when the hand is closed, we can see, wait a minute, there's some tendons on the top. So those are the extensions that allow them to be able to open it back up. That means every single finger has 4 tendons. By definition, a tendon has one end that's like attached to bone, and the other end that's attached to a muscle. Okay? So that means the other end, the muscle in this case, is the actuator. So we can see all those tendons down the bottom there that are being routed through the carpal tunnel, and they end up attached to these different actuators. Now notice the different actuation schemes on here. So I think we can go back up to one of those videos. I'm not sure if that one's there. I want to turn to Tesla and start to look at what's going on.
I don't
go
know
back
the
up
videos.
again. Oh, I think is the video in there on that movement?
No, I have my own videos that I got. But tell me,
okay.
was it displayed here, or was this thing?
Yes, exactly. So we can go ahead and see that, and if you look really closely, you will see how the tendons are being pulled up and down, up and down, up and down. So the actuators are a linear actuator. They're not this what's in the current Tesla lot, where they actually have it on a spool. That's overly complex. You need to have that worm drive or the base of that racket pinion. The thing you try to spin it around. It's really bad for tendons doing that. This way, the tension is always like linear directions in the same place, and it's way more competitive. So that's one trick that they did to be able to take, those very what I would say were like overly designed, much bigger actuators that are in their palm, and then move them down there. So that's a very important thing that they did of coming up with a simpler design to figure out how to get the range of motion that they needed to be able to do it. And that might be part of the trick, because everyone that's dabbled with properly stretched, or getting them calibrated in there. And some of it could be like, if you're winding it around the spool, yeah, that's just going to cause a problem. You know, you've got other issues that you've got to kind of deal with. But if you're just kind of pulling them up and down, that can simplify a lot of the problems. It's not just a space claim issue that they've been able to fix there, but it can also cause a lot of the issues of the overall reliability of the system. So that's one thing. Now, they've gone from 6 actuators in the 11 to somehow 24 in the 22. And you're going to say, wait a minute, how do you get the 24 if there was 22? And a lot of it, again, goes down to some of these weird degrees of freedom that they have. That basically, every single joint you have there, you almost need to be able to have, well, in some cases, they're dependent joints, and other ones, they're independent. The thumb has 5 degrees of freedom. So if you look at each finger, there's 4, right? There's 4 actuators needed for those things because of the 4 tendons that are going there. So that gives you 16. You go to the thumb. Well, the thumb is actually 5, and you need 1 for each direction. So that, again, is going to pop you up that you now have the extra, okay? So you get you actually end up getting 6 there that will get you up to, sorry, another 4, right? That gets you to 20, plus another 2 to 22, and then you have that palm. So you see the red one there, that's for the palm. That's right underneath the pinky. Whatever that one is there, adds yet another degree of freedom, but it requires 2 more servos to connect it to it.
Yeah,
so that's how you
they
get
did that, by the way.
Yeah, so
means you can bring down that side of the. Sorry if I can do this properly, but
yes,
that is right here.
Yep. Now what they have with the thumb is rather than having 2 degrees of freedom down at where would normally be the MCJ joint on the fingers, but it's actually called the CMC joint in the thumb. You actually have 3 degrees of freedom there. So that's why they went from 4 to 5 kind of DOF that you would need to have there, and then the actuation for each one in the palm, and that's how you get to 24, which is kind of weird. You would think it would be the same number or less, and they're having to do it in rings. So there's like easily 3 rings of 8 actuators on here, where the most important ones seem to be near the top. So if you look at some of the videos, you can sort of figure out which of those actuators is connected to which finger that's moving. You can guess in a little of them, but not all of them that are there. The other thing to notice is that as it's going around, those
So only soft interventions in this entire trip.
The other thing you might be a little bit hard to
That's
see. What happened?
that's respectable. That's respectable. The soft interventions were just to get the speed up.
It's a little bit behind
Really,
the wrist.
I could have just sat on it.
That video from Dirty Tesla, there's like a point
And if I put it on
where
minimal lane changes and changed it once into the right lane,
so it's still there.
it would have went
It's
perfect
hidden behind
all the
there.
way.
You can see a little bit of the actuation that's going on.
So let's see if
Put together.
Tesla navigation
And they
was
changed the
right,
mechanism a little bit.
or
So I have that one video clip showing the Gen 2 versus
yep,
the Gen
Tesla's
3
navigation is
design
perfectly
that
right.
they decided to do with
This is it right here, and he said there's only one.
As far as I know,
And I remember we were here once
except
before.
Some of the people have talked, they call it a MIMO joint, basically multi-in, multi-out. This idea, it's a kind of a parallel kinematic. So,
Breakfast special is cheap,
A
$7.99.
little simulation showing the two, and I think if you progress to one of those slides, you can go ahead and see that.
Okay, so we've got Dirty Tesla's recording here.
Yep. And so he's got a nice close-up of kind of what's going on. When we look at it, we can sort of see what's going on down by the tendons.
You can see how the
actuators kind of going up.
it's
and
having
down,
such
up
a
and down.
difficult time
As
in
we get
parking
here a
lots.
little bit, that wrist
It hasn't
is
changed.
kind of
That has not
nice
changed.
little peak on the inside of the palm. But as it comes around,
Nice.
the wrist is going to move, and we're going to get a chance to see what that wrist mechanism looks like, because the actuation of that is happening with mechanisms that are behind right now. But as the wrist starts to roll around, you are going to see where the levers are that are making right there. So on the side, you're going to be able to see those back levers that are moving it up and down, to be able to do it. And that from that, I was able to get a glimpse to see how they've actually modified the Gen 3 versus the Gen 2 on how it works. Now remember, this is a kind of clever design. It's a parallel kinematic design. That means that if both of those actuators are moving in the same direction, you get this pitching motion of your palm. If they move in opposite directions, you get this yawing motion. And the advantage of that is that your yaw is a motion that's like a little bit, it's a motion you need to have, but it really, to dedicate an entire actuator for it almost seems like overkill. And this way you can kind of split these two actuators to if you need to have all the action that way, you've got it. And if you need a little bit of side action on there, you can get that. But in order to do that, your mechanism not only has to be parallel, it has to be out of plane. So I've got another animation that comes up here that shows a comparison between the two. And that animation is in the plane. And we have to remember there's also some out of plane movement, but the most important thing is to sort of understand the idea of what's going on with this. And so if we bring up that animation,
I'm so sorry.
we're going to see
yes, we're here.
that we have the actuators
Wow.
that are in the
I forgot that we were
which are very
still recording.
okay, so
Anyway, folks, thanks for joining me on this trip. I will edit it down, but just so you know, all the warts will be shown in the edited version.
Actuator